right, guys, so this is Leon, the counselor at Evolutions. Very honored to be here right now with Rabbi David. Me and him, we actually just got out of my primary group and he was the guest speaker there. I just want to say you had a very amazing message, and I know, you mentioned too that before, you were a rabbi, you were also a substance abuse counselor, mental health counselor, and worked at different clinics. And me and you kind of spoke about, there's the DBT and CBT and, solution focused therapy, EMDR, and those are all great. It's good to have knowledge of all that. But I think that me and you, we came to an agreement that, the most important thing for addicts and alcoholics or anybody that's struggling with mental health is spirituality.
Sure.
Spirituality is the solution to so many of their problems and what ends up filling that void. And maybe you wanted to touch a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So besides being a substance abuse counselor and a mental health clinician and social worker, I formerly had a lot of issues with substance abuse, which is not uncommon for people who end up becoming clinicians or help, that the empathy comes from the suffering and the experience itself. But I never actually got better. Despite all of my efforts and all of the different modalities of therapy and psychology and the advancements in science, no matter how many medications I took, no matter how many treatments, even ECT, electroconvulsive therapy.
Yeah, that's pretty serious stuff.
Oh yeah, very serious stuff, because it was so desperate, until I really, really internalized something spiritual. And this is something that I wanted to give over to the people who are here, and that is that one of the reasons why it's so hard for a person who abuses drugs is because he's obviously or she is in a lot of emotional pain, has been through a lot in their life, and they don't have resources to turn to or tools. And even if a person on the outside looks in and says, what do you mean, they have money or they have a family or they have this, that doesn't mean that they have inner tools or inner resources to channel and to draw upon, because ultimately at the end of the day, a person lives within themselves. They have to wake up every day, they have to look in the mirror every day, they have to experience their own inner world every day. And for a person who is addicted to substances, the path to getting there and the actual process of being in that place is very, very, very hard. It's very painful. So the way in which that you could heal, I believe now at this point, is to first understand that we're not in control of the results of our lives. The Torah speaks about that if a person, he learns something and he finds it, you can believe him. If he learns it but he doesn't find it, don't believe him. And if he doesn't learn hard but he does find it, don't believe him either. So the only way to believe him is if he learned and he found. But the obvious question is, he learned it and he understood it. He learned it and he achieved it. Why is the Torah using the expression of he found it like it was like a lost object? He learned it. And the deep spiritual message here is the only free will we really have is the active pursuit or the toiling to be able to achieve something. But the actual result of it is not in our hands at all. You find it. Like you found a lost object. And when you know that, that already can take off so much of the guilt, so much of the pressure, so much of the stress, so much of the confusion. Because how could it be that I'm doing my best and I keep failing? How could it be that I'm trying as hard as I can but I keep going backwards? The answer is you're not in control of the results of your life, only in the process. So just that alone can lift you up from depression like it did for me. When I was so severely depressed and I had a wife and I had kids, all I could think about is, how am I such a horrible husband? How am I such a horrible father? And that guilt itself was keeping me in that state. But when you realize that I'm here now because Hashem, because something higher than me wants me to be. Now at the time, obviously I didn't know why that is. But when you can understand that there is a purpose for my suffering, that there is a purpose for my challenges that goes even beyond this physical world, you already are on the path to recovery, the path to elevating beyond, because the whole deep thing that the Torah teaches, Jewish mysticism teaches, is this physical world is like a body, or it's like a shell to a fruit. Yeah, when you eat fruit, if you ate the peel of a banana, let's say, So bananas are delicious. In Miami, I'm sure they're great. Yeah, they're hanging off all the trees over here. So
Yeah.
when
We got the best bananas.
yeah. I swear the whole bananas come. I don't want to plug it or anything. I don't work for them, but whatever. So anyway, when you eat a banana, so anybody who's ever tasted a banana knows it's delicious. It's really sweet. But imagine you came out of a forest. Okay, you don't know what food is. You came out. You were raised like a wild animal. All of a sudden, you see a banana. Somebody tells you it's food. What are you gonna do? You're gonna eat the actual peel. How does that taste? Bitter, very bitter. But I thought a banana's sweet. And then people will swear to you, what are you talking about? The banana is literally one of the sweetest things in the world. It's tasty, it's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I keep eating it and it's bitter and I feel sick in my stomach and the gas and like what happens afterwards, I don't want to tell you. Yeah? But it's the same banana. And the answer is that Kabbalah teaches that this world is like the peel of a banana. And that is when you live on the outside of existence, when your whole orientation to the world is external, is outside, then it's a bitter world. It's a bitter life. It's a bitter state of existence. But that same life, that same world can be the sweetest thing if you know, first of all, that you have to take off the peel and look inside. And also if you know how to do that.
Yeah.
And this is, one of the most amazing things. If you can combine, let's say, substance abuse and mental health with spirituality, then they have all of the practical tools. And they'll know as well to stop eating the outside of the peel. And realizing the reason they keep coming up empty is not because something's wrong with them, not because there's something inherently bad about them. They're good people, they're strong people, they're resilient people, and their best has gotten them here because they're eating the outside of peels. And Bezrat Hashem, that they should have the merit to be able to open up the peel and see that it could be sweet.
Yeah. That's a beautiful, beautiful metaphor. I don't think next time I eat a banana, it'll definitely remind me of what me and you are doing here.
Make sure you take off the peel, though. That's
yes, for sure. And you mentioned, about, addicts and alcoholics. One of the biggest problems is the addiction to control.
Yeah, sure.
And it's all about, in order for me, in my journey, I had to fully surrender and let go of that control. And the way that I did it was by me understanding that I am not in charge. The AA Big Book talks about being the actor, the player, the producer. It's just too much. You can't do all of that at once. So I started developing a concept of a higher power, and I realized that I am not in charge. And actually, when I am not in charge and I just let go and I'm flowing with the universe, like, magic happens.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about here. We gotta teach them to let go of the control, to trust the process, to trust a higher power.
Sure.
And really that's all the magic happens.
For sure.